Our topic is conflict management, which is, can you want to say it in English? Where's my translator? Conflict management.
Gestione del conflitto.
Okay, so what did we see? We started by an introduction, and then we saw the outline, what we will see together. We spoke about the objectives of the session, and then we started by talking about conflict in general and how it can become one more. Yes.
We don't have the microphone, and here perhaps you can hear.
Okay, I'm ready.
It's better to move the questa borsa libero avanti, se volete velocemente
Ha dato la borsa. Sì, ma non fare niente, se c'è da fare, ma che vuoi fare? Grazie.
di comprensione anche se muove perché alzate la mano, chiamatemi, facciamo una traduzione.
We started by talking about the word war, so you all know what happened in World War I. Started with conflict. Then we spoke about the definition of conflict. So who can remind me what is the definition of conflict? Definition of conflict.
is harmony by the two parts with uncomfortable.
Okay, so it's when two or more people disagree on something, okay? So we saw the conflict table, which is I win, I lose. So who can give me an example of lose-win? Lose-win. So we saw win-win, lose-win, win-lose, and lose-lose. Do you remember the examples?
Dai.
So I will repeat. If I have, let's say for lose-win, okay, I lose, you win. You want this, let's say we have one umbrella. You know, what do you say umbrella? So we have one, and I want it and you want it. We have only one. So it's a simple example, but you can understand it on other examples as well. So I want it, you want it. You say, I will take it today, and you go. So you win, but I lose. So you win, but I am not happy. So I will not be happy from the situation. You lose, I win. I say, I want it today. I take it and I give you. I lose, you win. So it's lose-win. Win-lose, lose-win. Okay? Win-win, I say, okay, you take it 2 hours, I take it 2 hours. We both took it. Win-win. Or we go together under the same umbrella, also win-win, so we both won. Lose-lose, I take the umbrella, I break it. I throw it. I don't have the umbrella, you don't have the umbrella. Lose-lose, okay? So we both lost. Is it clear? So in all conflict, we it's always bad. Is it always bad? No. No, because it can help to make the situation better. Okay, then we spoke about the levels in conflict. We spoke how it can be interpersonal, so from one to one person, inter-group, so political group versus political group, unit versus unit, so it can be different entities, and international, so a country opposite to another country, and there's a conflict. Now, the principle of conflict management, we spoke about diversity, okay, so that we are all different. It's very important to understand that we are all different and we see things in a different way. Acknowledgement, we spoke about the elephant in the room. I will show you a picture later to remember. Roots of the conflict, so how to take the conflict from its roots, which is resting. Okay, comprehensivity, so it only involves the people concerned. Now, the process to solve problem, every one of us have different methods to solve the problem. We will do today a very interesting test, and you will see what is your method when there's a conflict, how do you deal with it. Some people negotiate, they try to find a solution. Some people escape, they just leave, or they don't talk about it, they avoid the conflict. Some they force it, I want this, they take it and they don't care about the other person. Some bring a facilitator, mediator, so someone who will facilitate the discussion. They do a compromise, so they do a sacrifice. Or litigation, they go to the court, to the lawyer. Or arbitration, so someone who comes and he judges the situation. All right? Then we said if we want to choose a method, well, how do we choose a method? We look about the relationship. How important is the relationship? We look about the objective of the conflict. If it's something small, we can talk together. If it's something big and the relationship is important, I don't go to the lawyer and talk about it because it will destroy the relationship. And the time it takes, so if it's something that can be solved, I don't also go to a lawyer and that takes a lot of time. I take a process that takes a lot of time, okay? We spoke about negotiation, teamwork, we saw the video of the penguins, we saw another video also about the conflict and the bridge and the wind who's win. This is the advanced definition of conflict. So conflict is a competitive relationship between two or more parties who think they have different objectives. Because sometimes we have the same objective, and we will see today, but we think we have different objectives, okay? The ones who are new today, is it clear? If you have any questions, what's your name?
Luca.
Luca? You were here? Valeria. Okay, and who was here yesterday? Your name? Alessandra? Okay, so is it clear? All right. And then we saw the types. Chiara. Then we saw the types of conflict. So it can be a relationship conflict. It can be data conflict. So we look at something, but everyone sees it. You're new also. Yeah. So we have different views of the input. We look at something and we see it differently. Conflict of interest. So let's say you are in a company and you have a promotion. So you are now let's say HR officers, and someone will be HR manager, only one. So I want to become HR manager, another one wants to become the HR manager. So there's a conflict of interest. If you become HR manager, I don't get the promotion, and if I become the HR manager, you don't get the promotion. So there's a conflict of interest. Structural conflict, so authority, time, organizational change, etc. This is also a type of conflict. I'm going fast because we saw this yesterday. Values conflict, when I have different conflict, let's say in a couple, a value could be to be faithful, okay? And if they don't have the same value, there will be problems. Causes of conflict, we saw the different causes of relationship conflict, data conflict, interest, structural, value, why we have conflicts. And we say that the conflict can happen with anyone. It can be with your friends, with your family, with your colleagues, with anyone at any time. So we have to be careful and to know how to manage the conflict. Now we say that demonization comes from demon, which means devil. Okay, we make the other person a devil in our head. Why? Because there's a situation, we see and hear something. We tell ourselves a story. So we tell a story and it becomes bigger, and instead of talking to the person, we talk about the person. So I go and tell you, did you see what happened? Did you see what she did to me? And I start to talk to you about her. And this makes it bigger, and she goes and talks to her friend against me. So there will become two groups. And we start to make the story bigger, and this will create feelings of anger. So I become angry, why she did this on purpose, and we take action. The action can be three things. Or we go silent, we don't talk to the other person, we ignore them. Or we become aggressive, so we say bad words or we become aggressive. Or we do a constructive confrontation, which is we talk with the person in a very assertive way by expressing our feelings, but in a very mature and assertive way. So we spoke also about how we can destroy relationships when we are angry, and if we talk under anger, under our emotions. And we said that this is an image that shows violence, verbal violence, verbal abuse. So it's very important to think before we talk. When we are angry, don't speak, because how many of you regretted things they said when they were angry? If they were not angry, they wouldn't say the same thing. So this is something to remember. And remember, you cannot unpunch someone. So punch is to punch, unpunch you cannot do it. Punch, it's over. You broke something in the relationship. Okay, and then we said don't tell yourself a story, tell the full story. So don't complete the story like you want. Ask a question to understand. So the Japanese say, ask yourself 5 questions and ask the other person 5 questions before getting angry. And this is a very important sentence. So perception is much more dangerous than the truth. We saw this. So if we look at this image, it's a young lady, and we look at this image, we see a young lady. And if we see this image, it's an old lady, and we look at this image, it's an old lady. So the experience is we give to a group this picture, and we give to another group this picture, and this group will see the young lady, the other group will see the old lady. So in conflict, we all have different perceptions, but the important thing is to be able to see, both of us to see the same picture in both ways. So this is why we say every story has 2 sides. You have to hear both sides of the story. Then we spoke about stress management and the amygdala. This is very important, but I will not repeat it all. If you want, at the break, you can come and explain to you, okay? The new one. So the amygdala is a small gland in the brain that is responsible for throwing stress hormones into the body. So if we are stressed, we are not able to take good decisions because our left brain gets blocked, our logical brain. This is why it's important to calm the amygdala. We spoke about many techniques, how to have endorphins and oxytocin into our body. Like we said, sports, smiling, positive people, breathing, gratitude. We spoke about many of them. And we get to this point, which is whenever there's a problem, we attack the problem and not the person. Okay? So when we say we attack the problem, not the person, what do we mean? We attack the problem, not the person. We talk about the behavior, not the person. So if I'm coming to, I have a friend in university, and every day she is very friendly and very, very nice, but like 2 days, she didn't say hello to me, okay? So I come to the university and she didn't say hello. So I can have a conflict with her. I tell her, you didn't say hello, you are a mean person, you are a bad person, you are not a good friend. What do I do here? I break the relationship. It will not be possible easily to fix the relationship again. But if I go and tell her, I feel sad because it's been 2 days, I noticed that you are not talking to me, is there any problem? So we are talking about the problem, not about the person. Okay, it's not you are mean, you are this, you are that. Okay, do you understand the difference? Great. Alright, now let's get to polarization of conflict. But before this, I need to watch the video. Is it okay? You're able to understand? So in this video, we will see the difference between empathy. You know what is empathy? So we will understand. You will see it's a very nice video.
So what is empathy, and why is it very different from sympathy? Empathy fuels connection. Sympathy drives disconnection. Empathy, it's very interesting. Teresa Wiseman is a nursing scholar who studied professions, very diverse professions where empathy is relevant, and came up with 4 qualities of empathy. Perspective taking, the ability to take the perspective of another person or recognize their perspective as their truth. Staying out of judgment, not easy when you enjoy it as much as most of us do. Recognizing emotion in other people and then communicating that. Empathy is feeling with people. And to me, I always think of empathy as this kind of sacred space where someone's kind of in a deep hole and they shout out from the bottom and they say, I'm stuck, it's dark, I'm overwhelmed. And then we look and we say, hey, I'm down. I know what it's like down here, and you're not alone. Sympathy is, ooh, it's bad, huh? No, you want a sandwich? Empathy is a choice, and it's a vulnerable choice, because in order to connect with you, I have to connect with something in myself that knows that feeling. Rarely, if ever, does an empathic response begin with at least. I have it, yeah. And we do it all the time. Because you know what? Someone just shared something with us that's incredibly painful, and we're trying to silver lining it. I don't think that's a verb, but I'm using it as one. We're trying to put the silver lining around it. So, I had a miscarriage. At least you know you can get pregnant. I think my marriage is falling apart. At least you have a marriage. John's getting kicked out of school. At least Sarah is an A student. But one of the things we do sometimes in the face of very difficult conversations is we try to make things better. If I share something with you that's very difficult, I'd rather you say, I don't even know what to say right now, I'm just so glad you told me. Because the truth is, rarely can a response make something better. What makes something better is connection.
Okay, did you understand? So it's a nice way to explain this. Now, character assassination. So this is something we all do, and it's very dangerous. When we are not professional, okay, we are in our daily life, what we do, when there's a conflict, and I am angry with the person, I start to remember all the bad things about him, okay? So if he did something bad to me, what do? Immediately, I start to open the files of the past. Like, you did this, it's not the first time you did this. Remember when last year we went to this and you said this to this person, and we start to open past files, and he does the same to me. So he also remembers, yes, last time also you did this. And what happens here? We start to open past files, we start accusing each other. And this is where we become very angry, the emotion is very strong, and we start to talk to other person as well. So this is what we call polarization, and character assassination is when we accuse the person of something by talking about his character, about him as a person, and not about his behavior. So if I tell him, you are mean, you are, when I put a label, etiquette on someone, it's a bad thing, especially you as professionals, the psychologists and social workers. So whenever there is a conflict, or you see two people in your office coming, for example, me as HR manager, I have a conflict between two employees. One comes and talks to me about the other person, and one comes to talk to me about the other person. What I do, I bring them together to sit in the room and to talk to each other about the behavior, not about like you did this, you are bad, you are a something. It's already a character assassination. Okay? So this is very important to understand, because when we do this, is there a pen?
HR manager che fa il
Yes, and what happens is that we stop talking with the person, we start talking about the person. And this is where it becomes dangerous. Now we will do an exercise about opinion versus facts, because sometimes we have opinions. You know what's opinion in Italian?
Opinione.
Opinione versus facts. Facts are
Fatti.
So sometimes we look at opinions and facts, and we see that we speak about opinions. And opinions are not going to be used in a conflict. So we will do this exercise. Take 5 minutes to read every sentence and say if it's an opinion or a fact. Okay? So each one alone, just write one opinion or fact. Then you want me to explain the
qualche frase chiara? Dei numeri, la numero 6, la nostra lettera che dice della 6.
Non è giusto che tu prenda sempre
Più rendi.
ok, che tu prenda sempre i meriti visibili in questo dipartimento. Meriti visibili.
So you wrote one opinion or fact, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Perché secondo me lei facci caso. Quando fa lezione.
Si è fatto PNL, sì.
Eh?
Si è fatto PNL, sì.
Ah, ecco per quello. PNL è quello. E usano il linguaggio di segni per formazione.
Talking about opinion. And when we talk about an opinion, this is personal. So I am making the other person block. When I tell him something that is an opinion, he blocks immediately because we are accusing him of something that we see as subjective. It's something personal, an opinion. So whenever there is a conflict, we need to talk about facts, not opinion. And any sentence can be a fact, not an opinion. We will see which ones are opinions and we'll change it later into facts. Okay? Let's take the first one. You spend too much time on breaks. Is it a fact or an opinion?
Opinion.
Opinion. Wow. Well. Why is it an opinion?
Cosa?
Because I said too much time on breaks. You spend too much time on break. What is too much time? For me, it's 10 minutes is too much time, or 2 hours is too much time, or it's an opinion. Okay? Very good. So opinion. The second one, when I left last night, you were still in your office. Is it a fact or an opinion?
Fact.
Fact. Very well. Fact, because I said a specific thing. When I left last night, you were still in your office. It's a fact. I cannot say it's subjective. If I said you stay late in the office, it's an opinion. Okay? 3, you are too impatient with our clients. Opinion. Who says fact? Everyone says opinion? Okay, why? Why is it an opinion? Which word shows its too impatient? What is too impatient? What is too much impatient? And also we said clients with S. With all the clients, whenever there is a generalization, it means we say all people are this. Stereotyping, it's an opinion, because it's not true that all clients, that you are too impatient with all our clients with us. Okay? So it's an opinion. Fourth, the draft of the project memo you submitted was great. So it was great.
Opinion.
So even if it's positive, okay, even if it's positive, it's still
Opinion.
Opinion. Who said fact? Is it a fact? No. No, it's an opinion. So the draft of the project memo you submitted was great. Okay? 5. The raise you requested was granted by the general manager. So you asked for a raise in your salary. You wanted a raise, and the general manager said, okay for the raise. You got now a higher salary. Is it a fact or an opinion?
Fact.
Fact. Very good. Excellent student. Okay. 6. It's not fair that you always get the visible assignments in this department. So it's not fair that you always get the projects that make you that makes your that makes you shine, that makes you show up in this department. So it's not fair. Is it opinion or fact? Opinion. Opinion. Why? What are the words that shows it's an opinion? Always. Very good. It's not fair that you always, also a generalization because we say always. And the other one is not fair. What is fair and what is not fair? It is an opinion. It is subjective. Okay. Now, let's take the opinions and change them into facts. So you spend too much time on breaks. How can we make it an opinion? So take 2 minutes also to write number 1, 3, 4, and 6. Write them 1, 3, 4, and 6. Write them as facts. So they are now opinions. Write them as facts. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Excellent. I don't know.
Chiara consegna.
Spend too much time on breaks. How can I make it a fact?
Hai risposto male. Hai ispirato.
Our clients se noi diciamo che i 10 sono lamentati e invece la 4 hai soddisfatto tutti i criteri.
Okay, so change it. It's good to write it. And how to make it Try not to make it an accusation. So I noticed that
Io metterei allora
Io metterei martedì e veneto.
io metterei la
Sì, perché così non è sempre.
Okay, so the first one, you spend too much time on breaks. How can we say it in a way that is an opinion, that is a fact, not an opinion? Yes.
The breaks are 10 minutes each. I noticed that you take 15 minutes.
Okay, the first, the break is?
The break is 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I noticed that you take 15 minutes.
Oh, very good. So the breaks are for 15 minutes. I noticed that you spent 30 minutes on the break. I am giving a fact. So you have 15 minutes, you took 30 minutes. Or 10 minutes, you took 15 minutes. So, okay? This is how we change an opinion. So whenever you have to say something, when you work in a company, when you work with someone or with your friends also, think about saying a fact, not an opinion. Okay? Second one is number 3. So we can say also, I've been observing you for the last week. I noticed this and that. You are too impatient with our clients. How can we say it in an objective way? Yes.
After that,
You screamed?
after that,
Okay, yes, so you screamed at that client, or you can say that this client
Say.
told us that, so you say something specific. So they reported that you didn't spend enough time with this client, that you shouted on this client, so we get an objective fact. Okay? Very good. Number 4. The draft of the project memo you submitted was great. Yeah.
The draft of the project memo you submitted was evaluated positively.
Yes, also it's subjective, evaluated positively. You can say why. You can say it was accepted, let's say, by the board, and we will proceed with it, or it covers all the points, the important points we wanted, or so you say what it covers. Okay, so you can say your project was approved by the board and it covers all the points needed. Okay, very good. For the last one, 6, it's not fair that you always get the visible assignments in this department. It's not fair that you always get the visible. So how can we say it?
During this year, you have received the 100% of visual assignment.
Okay, or you can say out of 7 projects, 5 were assigned to you. So you are giving, I don't think this is right. I don't think this is right. Because you got 7 out of 5, 5
Yeah.
out of 7. So I am giving numbers. So it's a fact and not an opinion. Okay, is it clear? Okay, great. Now, time is very important because the later you are in the stages of conflict, the more difficult it is to resolve it. So if we spend a lot of time sleeping on this conflict, and it's a big conflict, it's like having, last time we saw an elephant in the room. When we say there's an elephant in the room, it means there's something big that we didn't talk about. And in companies, this is very important. So me as HR, I see this, especially in big organization. It's important to directly address the conflict and to train our employees on how to deal with conflict. And the role of the industrial psychologist or HR person is to know how to manage the conflict and to teach also the managers how to do this. Because what happens in a conflict, we don't have time. So it's fine. Alright, so what happens in a conflict is that so one person talks about instead of talking to the other person, they start to talk to other people. So this person talks to other people, this person talks to other people, and what happens is that they start to gossip. You know the gossiping? Gossip, the word, how do you say it in Italian?
Pettegolezzo.
Okay, can you say it loud?
Pettegolezzo.
Pettegolezzo, okay. So what happens is that they start to talk about the people, and you start to see the rumors go, oh, did you see this one, this one? And this is terrible. This is what we call a cancer in organization. It's very bad because it causes a lot of problems inside the company. Now, okay. So how to de-escalate the conflict? So we said the conflict. Now I will show you when the sentence arrives something. So what is the first step to de-escalate conflict? Let's say you are the psychologist of the organization and you have two people having a conflict. What do you do? So you are the psychologist, you have two people having a conflict. What is the first step you do? Who wants to try? What do you do? Okay, so first you separate the people who are concerned in the conflict, so the primary people, from the secondary people in a private location. So you don't talk about the conflict in front of everyone. So if she comes and tells me, this person and this person have, Fabio and Alessandra have a problem together. Okay, so Fabio and, thank you so much. So Fabio and Alessandra have a problem. She's telling me about this. Who are the people concerned is Fabio and Alessandra. It's not the other third person. Okay, so we do, is it okay? Are you able to hear me? So we separate the primary from secondary people in a private location with no cheerleaders. What is a cheerleader? It's someone you know in football when you say go, go, go. Yeah, so it's the same in conflict. So when we start to talk, to gossip to people, this and from here and there, what happens? Everyone becomes having cheerleaders. Yes, I know, he always does this, I don't like him. He's like, they start to do this, and this is very bad for organization. So mostly what happens, so we have two people, okay, having a conflict. Alright? So they start to have a personalization. Personalization means that accuse themselves. So you did this, you did that. Alright? And then they open past files. So you did this last time also, you did this last time. Past files. Okay? And then what happens? They stop talking with, they start talking about. So they bring cheerleaders and talk about this person with this person and this person. And this one also, he wants to talk to feel better. He talks about this person and this person. So these become cheerleaders. Yes, he's bad. I don't like him. What do you want from him? Yes, come look. So you know it's like cheerleaders. And what happens? They forget to they stop to talk about facts. So they talk about facts. Instead of talking about facts, they talk about opinions. And they become polarization. So this becomes bigger and bigger, and we have the conflict. So when someone comes, okay, as an external party, so you as HR or as organizational professional, you have to separate the primary from the secondary. So these people should stay away. It's the person A, the person B who are concerned. Okay? Now, what happens is that you have a second step to talk about the problem, the initial problem, without demonizing the other party. We said demonizing is making him the devil. Okay? So we have to talk about the problem, not the person. and then we let them discuss the problem and not the history from the past. So what is the problem now? You don't say he always do this, one time in 2015 he told me to do this and that, so we don't open past files. So we don't open past files, we don't let cheerleaders in. We separate the people and we talk about the problem itself. And also step 4 is not to be late. What we can do is maximum 1 week to calm the adrenaline, to be able to think clearly, but not more than this, because the harder we take to resolve the conflict, the more difficult it will be to resolve. Okay? So step 1, what do we do? Step 1, we separate primary from secondary. Step 2, to attack the problem. You attack the problem, not the person, without demonizing the person. 3, you let them discuss. So it's very important to facilitate. You let them discuss the problem and not the past files. Okay? And you are quick in this, not very quick and not very slow, but maximum 1 week to calm the adrenaline. Now, if they are very, very angry in the moment, let them calm down. Usually it takes 20 minutes, we said, to calm down. And you can do like whenever you feel that there's a lot of emotion, I recommend that people walk a bit or they move. When they move, the emotion change, okay? So this is very important. And also, remember that the biggest cancer or problem in the organization is the people who gossip. So if we have this one talking about this person with other people, we start to have gossip, a lot of gossip, and this is very bad for the organization. Okay? Now,
Tanto che l'indicatore del benessere organizzativo è l'indice di pettegolezzo, quindi nella scala di Avallone il costo di pettegolezzo è un indice di malessere organizzativo.
now we will distribute this test. So I want to be
Fare quando sono agitati, sì, perché posso dire che non si risolve. Perché quando sono agitati bisogna farlo calmare. Lei non lasciare passare con il testo che riesce a risolvere questi orribili, ma che si può, si genera, si incancreta il
Come si chiamano le domande?
Everyone got the paper? You all got the paper?
Oh my god.
Ancora 2 ci sono.
Just take one.
No, ma lei ha detto che one è questo test perché è lunghissimo.
Everyone has one?
Non potevo esimermi
Di evitare di fare
Dai, si era liberi.
Okay, so now this is a Thomas and Kilman test. Two men, Thomas and Kilman, they did this test to let you discover what is your style. So there is no good or bad style, but this will give you a very good indication on how you behave in conflict. So it's very important to do this test alone and to do it without thinking a lot. Just think what is true for you.
Yeah.
So in every section, so number 1, there are A and B in every question. You have to choose the one that is most likely to be true to you. The one that you do usually, okay? The one that represents you more. Sometimes you will feel that it's not A, not B is you. But you have to choose one that is more closely you, okay? So, Number one, let's say there are times when I let others take responsibility for solving the problem. This is A. Or B, I prefer to negotiate the things on which we disagree. I try to stress those things upon which we both agree. So choose if you are more A or B. Okay? So what you will do now is just circle A or B, of course, or A or B in 1, 2, 3 until you finish it. So when you finish, when you get to question 30, just let me know. Alright? So please make it very be focused and individually do it. If you don't understand the question, raise your hand, I will come to you to explain it, okay? And don't think too much, don't think what I should do. Think of what you really do. There is no wrong or right, there is just a way.
Preferite che le traduciamo lì?
Sì, no, a volte lascio che gli altri si prendano le responsabilità.
Prima anche? Sì. Allora, prima ci sono delle volte, riesce a andare più indietro.
So question 1, A. There are times when I let others take responsibility for solving the problem.
Ci sono delle volte in cui lascio ad altri la responsabilità di risolvere problemi.
Or B, I prefer, rather than negotiate the things on which we disagree, I try to stress those things upon which we both agree.
Piuttosto che negoziare le cose su cui siamo in disaccordo, preferisco sottolineare quelle cose su cui entrambi accordiamo.
Okay, so take a minute, choose A or B. Which one is more suitable for you? It's good, this way I learn also that. Okay, so just circle A or B. Okay, number 2. You all did it? Number 2. I try to find a compromise solution.
Cerco di trovare una soluzione di compromesso.
Or B, I attempt to deal with all others and my concerns.
Cerco di tenere in considerazione tutti i dubbi miei e altrui.
Take a minute and choose A or B. So which one is more you? Number 3, I am usually firm in pursuing my goals.
Means fermo. Sono solitamente fermo. Solitamente sono fermo nel perseguire i miei obiettivi. Io guardo Cristiana, così se vedo che mi guarda male so che...
Okay, B, I might try to soothe the other feelings and preserve our relationship. Soothe, it means calm down.
Cerco di addolcire i sentimenti altrui, ammorbidire i sentimenti altrui per preservare la relazione.
So choose which one you are, A or B. 4, I try to find a compromise solution.
Cerco di trovare una soluzione di compromesso.
Or B, I sometimes sacrifice my own wishes for the wishes of the other person.
Certe volte sacrifico i miei desideri per i desideri dell'altro, a favore dei desideri dell'altro.
So choose which one you are, A or B. Okay? Now 5. I consistently seek, so 5A, I consistently seek the other's help in working out a solution.
Cerco fortemente l'aiuto degli altri nel trovare una soluzione.
Okay? Or B, I try to do what is necessary to avoid useless tensions.
Cerco di fare ciò che è necessario per evitare tensioni inutili.
Okay, so choose A or B. Number 5. Okay, now number 6. A, I try to avoid creating unpleasantness for myself.
Cerco di evitare di presentare me stessa come non piacevole.
No? Cerco di evitare cose non piacevoli
per me. Okay.
Or B, I try to win my position.
cerco di vincere Windows.
My position, my situation.
Nella mia posizione cerco di vincere. Mettiamola così.
Di affermare la mia posizione.
Cerco di affermare la mia posizione, cerco di far sì che la mia posizione vinca, di vincere.
Okay? So choose if you are A or B. Just turn. Now number 7. I try to postpone the issue until I have had some time to think about it.
Stavo cercando la letterina cerco di posticipare il problema finché non ho sufficiente tempo per pensarci.
Postpone means
Posticipare, cosa ho detto?
Okay, or B, I give up some points in exchange for others. I give up some points in exchange of others.
Cristiana?
La do vinta su alcuni punti per ottenerne altri.
Ok. Rinuncio ad alcuni punti in cambio di altri.
Now number 8.
Rinuncio a qualcosa in cambio di qualcos'altro.
Okay, number 8. I am usually firm in pursuing my goals.
L'ho detto, sono generalmente deciso nel perseguire i miei obiettivi.
Or B, I attempt to get all concerns and issues immediately out in the open. It means
In the open,
in the open, I mean,
allo scoperto.
Openly.
Cerco di considerare
cerco
apertamente tutti i miei dubbi, cerco di considerare immediatamente e apertamente tutti i dubbi e tutte le questioni.
Sì, di farli uscire allo scoperto.
Di farli uscire allo scoperto.
It's openly, it means they discuss it. Yeah, to talk about it. So which one is more you? A or B? Is it okay so far? Now number 9. You all did. You chose A or B for 1 to 8, yes? You all have answers. Now number 9. A. I feel that differences are not always worrying about.
Sento che le differenze non sempre mi spaventano.
Sì, non sono preoccupanti.
Not always worth worrying about. So you don't have to worry about it. Okay. B. I make some effort to get my way.
Faccio degli sforzi per raggiungere la mia strada.
So choose if you are more A or more B. Number 10. I am firm in pursuing my goals. Okay, you got it. Or B. I try to find a compromise solution. So choose if you are A or B. Number 11. I attempt or I try to get all concerns and issues immediately out in the open.
Questo.
Okay. Or B. I might try to soothe the other feelings and preserve our relationship. If you have questions, ask. Are you more A or B? Is it clear for this one? Number 12. Okay, so 12A. I sometimes avoid taking positions which would create controversy, which is enemies.
Talora evito di prendere posizioni che possono creare controversie.
Or B. I will let another have some of their positions if they let me have some of mine. So I will let another person have some of their position if they let me have some of mine.
Posso lasciare ad altri il raggiungimento delle proprie posizioni, dei propri obiettivi, se loro ne lasciano qualcuno a me.
So choose if you are more A or you are more B.
Non è detta bene, italiano.
Okay, number 13. I propose a middle ground.
Propongo una via di mezzo.
Mezz'anno.
Una terra di mezzo. Sì, sì, un punto intermedio degli anelli.
B, I press or I push to get my points made.
Cerco di fare in modo di raggiungere i miei obiettivi.
Okay, so choose if you are more able.
Press, cioè faccio forza più che cerco di faccio forza per raggiungere.
Number 14. I tell another my ideas. So 14A. I tell another person my ideas and ask them for their ideas.
Dico le mie idee e chiedo agli altri le loro.
Or B. I try to show him the logic and benefits of my position.
Cerco di mostrare la logica e i benefici della mia
Abbastanza
posizione.
coincidente che fa questa cosa.
So choose if you are more A or B. Now 15A. I might try to soothe the other feelings and preserve our relationship. So I might try. I can. Or B. I try to do what is necessary to avoid tension. Tension means problem.
Cerco di fare ciò che è necessario per evitare la tensione.
Okay, choose A or B. 16A. I try not to hurt the other's feelings.
Cerco di non
ferire.
ferire i sentimenti altrui.
Or B. I try to convince the other person of the merits of my position.
Cerco di convincere l'altra persona dei meriti della mia posizione. Ma serve questo lavoro che sto facendo o
Okay.
grande impegnativo? Deve essere finita.
So choose A or B. Number 17. I am usually firm. So A. I am usually firm in pursuing my goals. Or B. I try to do what is necessary to avoid useless tensions.
Cerco di evitare, cerco di fare ciò che è la mia posizione, cerco di fare ciò che è necessario per evitare tensioni.
Okay, choose A or B. Number 18. 18A. If it makes the other person happy, I may let them maintain their views, keep their views.
Se questo fa l'altra persona felice, posso lasciargli mantenere la sua visione.
Okay, or B. I will let the other person have some of their position if they let me have some of mine.
Questa l'abbiamo già vista, posso lasciare ad altri, posso riconoscere la posizione di altri se agli altri riconoscono un po' delle mie.
Okay, you understood the difference between A and B? Okay, choose one, A or B. Number 19, A. I try to get all concerns and issues immediately out in the open.
Cerco di considerare apertamente, immediatamente tutti i dubbi.
So I talk immediately about the problems. Or B. I try to postpone the issue until I have had some time to think it over.
Pospongo finché non ho sufficiente tempo per pensarci.
So think, choose one, A or B. 20, A. I attempt to immediately work through our differences.
Cerco di lavorare immediatamente, di pensare immediatamente alle nostre differenze.
Or B. I try to find a fair combination of gains and losses for both of us.
Cerco di trovare una combinazione equa di vantaggi e svantaggi per entrambi.
Okay. 21, so take a minute to choose A or B. Okay. Now, 21A. In approaching negotiations, I try to be considerate of the other person's feelings.
Nell'approcciare la negoziazione cerco di essere considerated.
I try to be considerate, which means I try to be
Cerco di essere consapevole dei sentimenti altrui.
to be lean, it means I choose, I try to choose. I always lean toward the direct discussion of the problem.
Io mi sono sempre a favore, cerco sempre di andare verso una discussione diretta del problema.
Okay, so choose A or B. 22A. I try to find a position that is intermediate in the middle between mine and another person.
Cerco di trovare una posizione intermedia tra me e l'altro.
Or B, I assert my wishes.
Sono assertiva rispetto ai miei desideri.
Sì.
22, choose A or B. Now, 23. I am often concerned, so 23A, okay? I am often concerned with satisfying all my wishes.
Sono spesso preoccupata di soddisfare tutti i miei desideri.
Or B, there are times when I let others take responsibility for solving problems.
Sono volte che lascio ad altri prendere la responsabilità di risolvere i problemi.
Okay, choose A or B. Now, 24A. If the other's position seems important to them, I will try to meet their wishes.
Se la loro posizione la posizione altrui a loro sembra importante, cerco di incontrare i loro desideri, cerco di andare loro incontro.
Or B, I try to get the other person to settle for a compromise, to choose a compromise.
Sì, cerco di far sì che l'altra persona
Sì, vada verso.
cerco di far sì che l'altro sia favorevole al compromesso, scenda a un compromesso.
Okay? So choose A or B. 25A, I try to show the other person the logic and benefits of my position.
Cerco di mostrare i benefici e la logica della mia posizione.
Or B, in approaching negotiations, I try to be considerate of the other person's wishes.
Cerco di considerare, di tenere cura dei desideri dell'altro, della negoziazione.
Okay? Now, 26A, I propose a middle ground.
Via di mezzo.
Or B, I am nearly always concerned with satisfying all my wishes.
Sono quasi sempre preoccupato di soddisfare tutti i miei desideri.
Okay? 27A, I sometimes avoid taking positions that would create controversy.
Da allora evito di prendere posizioni che possono creare controversie.
Or B, if it makes the other person happy, I might let them maintain their views.
Se ciò rende l'altro felice, faccio in modo che possano mantenere la loro posizione, la loro visione.
Okay. 28A, I am usually firm in pursuing my goals. Or B, I feel that differences are not always worth worrying about.
Sento che non bisogna sempre preoccuparsi che le differenze siano qualcosa di sbagliato.
Okay. 29A, I propose the middle ground.
La via di mezzo, punto d'incontro.
Or B, I feel that differences are not always worth worrying about. Okay. 30 and last one. A, I try not to hurt the other person's feelings.
Cerco di non ferire i sentimenti altrui.
Or B, I always share the problem with the other person so that we can work it out.
cerco di condividere il problema con l'altro in modo da poterlo risolvere.
Okay, choose A. So you all have 30 answers, A or B, right? Is there any question that you missed or you didn't have time to choose? Okay. Now you take this sheet, okay, and you see, number one, if you answered A for the first question, you do a circle on A. If you answered B for the other question, you make a circle on B. Okay, it should be one per question, or A or B. So number one, I choose B, I make a circle on B. Okay, you do it for the 30 questions.
Ah, sì, poi salta uno, salta uno.
Sorella.
Chi è che ti ha chiamato?
È la 5.
Io lo dico, non si porta più.
E la 5 ci sono tutte.
Io sono evitata.
La prima, nella riga 5 la prima cancellate la seconda dello foglio di scuola. Nella riga 5 nel foglio di calcolo c'erano 2 A, conta la prima. Era un esercizio
Io ne ho 9. Anche a voi.
Cos'è la voglia? Cosa sei?
Immaginavo. Io sono a pari meno, sono tra Voiding e a voi.
Sono tra Voiding e Collaborator. Quante sono?
Sia ricerca. Ritrovo di
Prova che non c'è proprio la spiegazione.
Dai, sei molto orientato alla collaborazione.
Vale, cosa serve?
Perché? Allora vedi, io entro in
nel senso che se non qualcosa in questo caso è
How many circles you have?
come sono, cioè,
un compromesso.
Io sono a parimento, non so mai se
mi è venuto accomodante, ero tutta contenta, ho detto vuol dire che sono. Poi ho letto qua
accommodation. Vicini i tuoi nemici.
Kill your enemies with kindness. Ho detto
Ma io ce l'ho abbastanza. Ce l'ho, Ce l'ho alto anch'io, non è più alto.
no, è questo qua. Il mio è questo.
Per ogni frase.
È proprio
L'avoiding
avoiding 0. Invece restano più o meno un po' uguali. Però ho detto dai, è venuto bello.
O quando cerchi di addolcire, musiche e addolcire.
traduzione è Lenir.
È arrivato? Come sta? Intero. Sembra. È già qualcosa.
come modo di riserva quando non sono la competizione. Prima mi metterei leggiamo il nostro cosa che
scores from 0 to 3. Between 0, 1 to 3. On what?
The first thing? Yes.
0, okay? 1, 0, 1.
About 10.
About 10.
Sì, da 10 in su.
Okay, so this is very important to know. This will help you. As I said, I'm not chosen by my style, so now this test helped you to discover what is your style. And now you have to take action and to decide not to do this anymore. Everything that is 3, score 3 and below, it means I don't use a lot this type of of behavior in a conflict. I should do more of this. I should maybe sometimes it's okay to compete, it's okay to avoid, it's okay to compromise. So look at the scores where you have 3 or below. And also if you have 10 and more, 10 and more, it's also not good.
Se il conflitto è 3 o meno, evidenziatelo, perché può essere che su quella strategia si debba costruire gli apprendimenti, perché a volte forzare o evitare può essere utile. Troppo basso,
Sì, la competizione.
Now if you have 10 and more, if this is funny, if you have 10 and more, it means you overuse this, okay? You are using it a lot.
Anche in questo caso.
Le aree di criticità sono sotto dal 3 in giù e sopra dal 10 in su. La
Non è proprio in che cosa è? Cos'è il 10?
We'll just finish this and we take a break, okay? Okay. Listen to me. So you have 4 between 5 and 8 all. It means you are balanced. You know how to switch from the side to another in a very balanced way. Okay, now look at which one is your highest score and your second high. So first highest score, second option, and the lowest one. Okay? So you have to tell me which is the highest, second high, and the least. Okay, who wants to share? Who wants to share this time? Who got very high on competing? It's okay. But above, so they have very high 10 on competing. So whenever there is a conflict, what they do is that they do a competition. They compromise. Okay, on competing. Is it true? So usually you compete for what you want. Yeah. Okay. So for competing, now you know that you should do something. Maybe you should use other styles. You have a style under the three.
Yeah, withdrawing.
Withdrawing. Yeah. Usually withdrawing is the opposite of. Sometimes you don't have to compete on everything. And what's your second type? Compromise. Okay. So you see now, is it true? Did you notice that this is really what you do in life? And the ones who are with that high avoid it. Is it true that you avoid? Okay, very good. So who got very high on withdrawing?
Accommodation.
Very high. Okay. So you guys should learn a lot how to confront, because withdrawing means the problem is still here. There's an elephant in the room. You are putting yourself in a situation where you are losing, lose. It can be lost for both. Now sometimes it's good to let go, to avoid, but sometimes it's not, okay? So make sure you know what is your first style, your dominant, what is your second style, and which one is your last used style, okay? And if you have more than 10, it means you are overusing the style. If you have less than 3 or less, it means you are not using enough of this style. Now we will take a break, okay, 10 minutes, and we will be back to explain.
Accommodation secondo me, io non capisco niente.
Sì, infatti stavo cercando. Sì.
Anche te qua.
Sì, Sì, vabbè, questo...
Vabbè, perché sennò accomodando, cioè ieri...
Sì,
Però la spiegazione è terribile. Uccidi i tuoi nemici con la gentilezza. Cioè, tipo... non so, sai, lavorando con dietro le spalle.
Però è poco.
Sì, è poco, chiudo.
Addoncicità.
Cioè vuol dire subdolo, un po' da suocera.
Esatto, esattamente. Sì.
Io potrei sottoporlo.
Secondo c'è di forza infatti.
Però lei è così brava.
Perché avrà fatto sulla... No, però non è mai accomodito.
Uccidi i tuoi nemici con
Poi è sbagliato, dovrebbe essere perché in realtà
guarda che siete dei falsi, ma io collaborazione
ma perché in realtà Chiara si è andata tutta su, come si chiama?
Io sull'evitamento perché ero vicino a Chiara, non volevo un conflitto. Anche tu ci dici l'influenza.
Chiara
Poi mi mando in le altre
quindi c'è qualsiasi cosa sul freddo, sul caldo, c'è questa attività. Sì, perché puoi andare alle 10 perché va troppo tardi, allora ci sentiamo
is something that you use a lot. You should start to pay attention to this. Below 3 is not very good. So the ideal range is between 6, 7, and 8. This shows flexibility. It shows that you can switch to a style more than the other. Now, if we look at this, okay, and you have on your sheet, on the desk, when to use which style, okay? So if you have, because you can use all the styles, you don't have to use always the same style. So you can see here, when is the best way to choose competing? When is the best situation to choose avoiding? So we avoid when the issue is not important. So if someone is making a big conflict on something that is not important, you can avoid. You don't have to make a big story out of it. If you are, the relationship is very important. It's important to collaborate, to compromise. So this is mostly the conflict code. So Thomas and Kilman are two experts from Harvard University, and this is the way. So this is when you are unassertive and assertive. You know the difference. You know what assertive means? So assertive is you can be passive, not talk, aggressive, talk in a violent way, or assertive, it means say what you want in a very mature and direct way. Okay, so being assertive, like the worst, like being avoided is when you avoid. Okay, it's a way to say I don't want the problem. You avoid. Accommodating is when you do something to get to your objective, but without really, maybe it's not what you want, so you just accommodate, you adapt to the other person. Compromise is half-half. So I give you this for 2 hours, you give me this for 2 hours, instead of me taking it all the time. Collaborating is to find a win-win solution, but also, so what's the difference between collaborating and compromising? You know? Compromising could be a quick solution. Like, okay, I don't want problems, you take it a bit, I take it a bit. It's a win-win, but it's in the middle ground. While collaborating, it needs more discussion, you go deeper into the problem, okay? Competing is, I don't want discussion, I want to win, I don't care about you, okay? So this is what you do, I compete, competition. Now, if we take the same styles, and so tell me, in competing, is it win-lose or lose-win or win-win or lose-lose? I compete. Competition. I want what I want, I don't care about anything else. Win-lose. Win-lose. So now what's the problem in this style? Is that you don't care what the other person's feelings, so the other person will not be happy. So you win, but the other lose. Okay, so you get to your goal, you win, but the other one loses. So it's win-lose. Collaborating, it's a win-win because I am making a collaboration. You win, I win, and we find a solution. But this needs negotiation. It needs a lot of going into the depth of the problem. Okay. Now compromising, I win, you lose, and you lose, you win at the same time. So I lose a little bit. So let's say the example of the umbrella. I want it for 1 whole day. We have one umbrella. I give it to you for 2 hours. I take it for 2 hours. So instead of having it for 4 hours for me, I have it for 2 hours. I win a bit, but I lose a little bit, and you also. So it's a compromise. Now avoid is lose-lose. It's when also I broke the umbrella. It's when I don't talk about the problem. I ignore the problem as if it doesn't exist. But the thing is, the problem exists. So if I avoid it, it means I am losing and the other person is losing. I'm not getting into a solution. Avoid. Accommodate, lose-win, because I am not happy, but I do this for you. Okay, so I'm not convinced with the situation, but I do this because this is what you want. I accommodate, lose-win. So you can use all these styles depending on the situation. You can read here all the situation, when is the best to use accommodating, when is the best way to use avoidant. You have to use them all in a flexible way. And make sure you take into consideration the result of your test and how this reflects on you. Okay? Now, I want you, let's do an exercise. So I want two people to, every two together, tell a major decision of something, a big decision you took in your life, and the other person will tell you what they heard. Okay? So you do it all together, every two together. So person A tells person B about a big decision they took into their life that made a change. It could be choosing your major, it could be stopping talking to someone, it could be anything like going to the gym every day. This is a decision. So tell them about this decision. The other person will just listen and then repeat what you told them. Okay? So every two together. Two, not more.
A coppie, una persona racconta all'altra una decisione importante della propria vita, l'altro ascolta e poi ripete che cosa ha ascoltato.
So every two together.
Allora, decisione importante. Ho lasciato il mio vecchio lavoro. Le motivazioni sono lavoravo molto per cui è stato mi stai dicendo le decisioni per cui l'hai voluto lasciare o per cui per te è stata difficile la decisione? No, per cui le motivazioni per cui ho lasciato. Allora, sono di tipo pratico, diciamo, quindi proprio davanti a un computer. Poco tempo per avere un rapporto sociale come conseguenza, un eccessivo stress, una specie di allergia a usare il computer e poi un'altra motivazione con un pochino più che è una cosa che avrei voluto sempre fare e quindi la faccio adesso e comunque è riuscita troppo tardi, quindi mi sono trovato da questo percorso alla fine adesso ti sembra troppo tardi, borderline, al limite, borderline. Il progetto fotografico però non mai detto perché vabbè, perché comunque aver perso sicurezza finanziaria, aver perso tanti riferimenti, diciamo, comunque il tempo è stato dedicato allo studio e al lavoro, molto bello, ma sono cambiate tante cose, i rapporti di amicizia, cioè non sono cambiati i sentimenti di amicizia,
Okay? So, what did you notice? So you told someone a story about your achievement, about a major decision, something that is important to you, and the other person listened and repeated what you said. What did you notice? Anyone want to share the experience? What did you notice in this exercise? Yeah.
Avete fatto lo scambio?
non ancora, no, ci manca.
Cioè uno racconta, l'altro ascolta e dice che cosa ascoltate.
Abbiamo ancora le
Non avete ancora le
è una cosa importante.
A metà.
More time. 1 minute. 1 minute more. A small decision and two persons. One says a decision, the other one is
Poi, va bene perché alla fine iniziare gli studi da parte capitali, gli studi di ingegneria e anche sul lavoro, ho capito che volevi fare da subito.
Diciamo che c'è una propensione.
Però non avevi ancora capito.
No, è stata proprio una decisione così. La decisione è stata improvvisa, probabilmente il processo decisionale invece quindi la persona che ti portava, quando hai avuto l'insight hai capito che ti interessava molto di più questo cambiamento ha fatto sì che insomma ci sono stati dei
Okay, so what did you notice? Who will share with me?
sociali.
What did you notice? What did you observe in this exercise? Who wants to share?
Vuoi condividere che cosa notavi?
In my opinion, the people that observed the story of person one was very concentrated about all the moment of this difficult choice, this difficult decision.
Yes, but I mean, the person who told the story, did the person who you asked give back the same story, or no? Did he listen to you? So when someone tells a story, we are saying something important. I am talking about the big decision in my life. The other person should listen and say back what he heard. So did you feel that this person listened to you and said back what you heard?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. He said exactly what you said?
Yes.
Or he changed a bit, forgot something small? He said the same. Okay. Very good. So here we come to the active listening. What happens when we are in a discussion or in a conflict? Sometimes we don't listen to the person, we just want to make our point right. So we think about what we will answer, what we will say next, instead of just listening and trying to understand the other person. So remember in a conflict, you say, no, and you want to get your point heard. You don't care about the other person, what he has to say. But this is very important in a conflict, to have active listening. It means to forget yourself and just put yourself in the other person's shoes and to understand exactly what he is going through and why he says this. There are many principles in active listening, which is not like just listening, like now I'm listening to a sound, but active listening is really to put all your attention in this listening, okay, in this conversation. And especially you as social workers and psychologists, it's very important to have active listening. So first is to be attentive. You are attentive not only to what he's saying, but to his body language, to everything related to his gestures, his voice. If he is sincere. This is why it's very important when there is a conflict to talk face to face, because there's a human aspect in the conflict. It's not like we talk by WhatsApp or by message or by email. There's no personal contact. Like when you have a personal conflict and you do a personal meeting, you can see the person, there's the emotional side, you can help them, you feel that there's a connection more. So you are attentive. The second one is to ask open-ended questions. Open-ended, it means closed-ended, it means the answer is yes or no. Open-ended, it means they have to explain. So tell me, why did you do this? What happened? What was your purpose? Ask probing questions. So you ask, so why? Probing, it means going into more details in the questioning, like why, how, when, where did this happen? You request clarification. If there's something that's not clear, you request to clarify. And then you paraphrase. Paraphrase, it means you repeat the idea in your own words. This we do it when, for example, in sales, if someone, or in negotiation or anything, if someone is talking a lot and you want to stop him, we repeat what he said and we say it in our own words. So this way he is happy that we listen to him and we can change the tone. But here we paraphrase to make sure that we understood well the other person. So to make sure that we get right what he said. So he says something, we say, if I understood well, you mean this, and that? Ah, okay, I understand now better. So this is important to paraphrase. Be attuned to and reflect feelings. So So you have to say what you felt. Like, I felt sad that you didn't talk to me for 2 days. So I am talking about my feelings. And I am also interested in his feeling. Maybe he is sad also. This is why he didn't say hello. It's not that he has a problem with you. Okay, this is an example. And then you summarize. So it's important at the end to make a summary and to take decisions from now on. So, okay, we did this conflict. From now on, let's take a decision together to solve this problem. Okay? This is the key is for active listening. Now, in communication, you know that there is a person who is giving the message and the other person who is receiving the message. Okay? So, and there is always noise. Noise, it means external factors, it means subjective factors, it means also external factors that will make us understand something in a different way. It can be that we don't master the language, it can be also that we understand the word in a different way. Like, I understand it positively. Like, if I say, I gave the example yesterday, if someone tells me, you're wearing black today, so I can say, oh, she is making fun of me because I'm wearing black today, or maybe what she means is that black is very beautiful on you. But not always we use the same words. So you are wearing black today, maybe she is worried that someone died in my family and I'm wearing black, all black, this is why I'm. So it could be anything. How can we understand this? It's by giving feedback. So if we are not sure about this, we can ask back, is this what you mean? Or without making a conflict or demonizing the person or idea. Now, we said there are many filters in the communication. So when I give a message to the other person receives it, but he can receive it in many ways. There are noises coming up. The noises could be the filters in communication. Filter, it means the way I filter things, the glasses in which I see the situation. First one could be the knowledge of the subject. So I can talk about the subject, I master it very well, you don't master it very well. So you don't have enough knowledge in the subject, you can understand something differently. Interest in the person. Also because sometimes you are very interested in the person, we give more attention, or sometimes you are not interested in the person. This affects how much you listen to them and what we want to understand. Another one is the interest in the subject. Remember when you go to a conference that is boring, this topic is not interesting to you. Let's say, I don't know, the latest updates in, I don't know, rocket science. So it's very complicated, you don't care. So if you go there, you will sleep, you will not listen well, you will hear some stories and then do something else on your mobile. So it's not interesting for you. While if I talk about psychology or something that is interesting for you, you have more interest. Or in the, let's say, a problem or a conflict, you have more interest in the topic. Psychological state. So if you are too tired, sometimes you don't understand well. It depends on your psychological state during the communication. And the timing of the discussion. If you are still very angry and the timing is bad, also it could affect your discussion. And the place and environment of the communication, as well as the mean of communication. So if I am talking on Skype and the connection is bad, it stops in the middle, I'm not able to listen to everything, or if it's a face-to-face communication. So how can I affect positively the filter? How can I affect positively the filter? First, the clarity of the message. So how clear I am able to explain my message. The body language. So I should make sure to use the proper body language. You know, this differs from a culture to another. But in my country, for example, like pointing fingers, it's an accusation. Like if I am in a conflict and I do this for the person, like you did this, and I do this with my finger, he will feel that I am accusing him. So I don't point fingers in my communication. So make sure you have a body language that is positive without being aggressive, accusing, or fist, or any other. We will see in details the body language in it. Repetition kills the subject. So if every time I open the old files and I talk about the same problem all the time, it will kill the topic and the tone of the discussion. So let's say that the tone is even more important than what we say. Because what we say is 7% important, but all the rest is the words and the voice and the tone of the communication. So if I'm saying, no, I'm not mad at you, you will feel that there's something wrong. She's really mad at me. So how we say it, the tone of the discussion, and the jargon and choice of language. Jargon, it means professional language of a certain topic. The state of the sender and the trust. So this also you should assess how much you trust the person you are discussing with. What is his emotional state? Is he depressed? Is he sad? Is he angry? If he's very angry from something else, you don't have to talk to him now. Maybe you postpone it a little bit. So this is something you should consider. Now when we give feedback, how to give feedback? This is something, a technique that we use. This is a technique that we use in companies or in any organization. Whenever you want to give feedback, especially us as HR, when we want to give feedback, we don't say something bad immediately. Okay, think about the hairdresser. What does the hairdresser do? He washes the hair before cutting it, yeah? So it's the same also when we want to say something negative, we have to say first something positive. And it's not praise or a bad, like a flattery. It's really something that we appreciate. So this is called the sandwich technique. You know the sandwich, there's bread, meat, and then bread. So the good thing is in the middle. What we want the important thing is in the middle. So when we have to give a feedback, let's say an employee is always late to work. Every day he comes late to work. So instead of giving him a criticism and telling him, you are always late, I can start by something positive. I say, we are very happy from your work, you're doing a great job. We noticed that lately you've been coming late for the last, so I give a fact, not an opinion. You've been coming late for the last 3 days because you're arriving at 9:30 instead of 9. It's important to make sure that you come on time so that we keep doing the productive work, and we are very happy to have you here in the company. This is why we want to make sure that everything is fine with both of us. So what did I do? I said a positive thing, and then I put the bad or negative criticism, and then I said another compliment, okay? So we are happy to have you here. Now, the important thing here is that I didn't use but. So I don't say, you are a great employee, but you are always late. Why?
Because but delayed.
But cancels all the good. But it means, what do you say it in
Cancellare, eliminare.
No, but.
Ma.
Cancels all what you said before. So you don't say but, you say and. So you are a great employee. Or point, okay? Silence. You are a great employee. We notice that. Don't say but. We notice that. We notice that you are late lately, etc., etc. Who can give me another example of a sandwich technique? So you want to tell someone about a problem or something that is bothering you. What would you do? How would you say it? Let's say someone is not doing their homework, or maybe you're, I don't know, you're in a company, in a big company, someone didn't come prepared to the meeting, and he's a very good employee, but for the meeting he did not prepare what he should prepare. So how would you tell him this criticism? First you start with the positive. So what do you tell them? Can you do it? So
you ask the motive.
Yeah, but first you tell him something positive. So you are a very good employee. We are happy to have you in the company. We noticed that you were not prepared to the meeting. you ask him, you can say the negative thing, and then you say something positive again. Okay? So positive, negative, positive. Okay? Now, the body language in conflict. You know that our body reflects a lot of what we want, so this is a fun picture to illustrate it. The first thing to do is to notice, first you have the eye contact. It's important when you have a conflict and you want to talk with the person to maintain eye contact, to keep the eye contact. But also, don't look if it's like a very aggressive situation, so don't look a lot into the eyes, because looking a lot into the eyes could become like a confrontation, okay? So don't look into the eyes in a way that is exaggerated. And there is the triangle. Triangle, it means if we feel that the eye contact is too heavy, it's too much to look in their eyes, I look at the triangle that is from here to there. For example, now I'm looking here, but you think I'm looking in your eyes. Okay, so looking here gives the same effect as not looking into your eyes, but it makes the pressure less. Okay? Another one is the tone of voice, so it's not too loud, it's not too low, because too low it means I am afraid, I am not able. So it should be assertive. Facial expression, so I am not frowning, but also I am not over smiling, because remember you are in a conflict. So if you are coming to a conflict and you are joking and smiling, they will not take you seriously. Okay, and the hand gesture, so don't use the finger, of course, the third finger also, so don't use this or you know, making other gestures, and the seating posture. So you know that when you, excuse me, when we are under stress, we have adrenaline going a lot into our body. So if we make the person sit, immediately 14% of the adrenaline goes down. If we give him water, 6% also will go down. So whenever someone comes to your office as HR, psychologist, social worker, make them sit on a chair. This immediately will lower the adrenaline. Give them water. This will also lower the adrenaline, and then we talk. Okay? So this is very important in body language, also to respect the personal space. Now, can you come, please? Any volunteer would like to come here? You will not talk, you will just stand. I will choose. Okay, so just stand here, okay? And I will walk towards you. When you want, you tell me stop, so that I stop walking. So. Oh, already? When you feel I'm too close, you say stop, okay? When you feel that I'm too close and it's enough, you say stop. Okay, it's better. Alright, so this is, this distance is what we call the professional zone. So it's one hand, one arm far, okay? Thank you. So, that's it. Usually we have what we call proximity. Proximity is the distance that two persons have together. If we are in an intimate zone, so if I am with my friends, very close friends, with my partner, with my sister, the distance is half an arm. Okay, half an arm. In all the professional contexts, like colleagues, professional meeting, etc., it's one arm far. And this is the distance that she's talking to. It's one arm away. Now, if we are in a conflict with a colleague and we go into their personal zone, it will create rejection. Okay, so you have to respect the distance if it's a colleague. If it's an intimate person, you can go into the intimate zone. This is why you notice when you are in a cocktail and people are eating and standing, sometimes you see that you are talking to someone and you find yourself at the end of the room, right? Or you take a step and he is going into the end of the room. Why? Because you are going into his personal zone, and it's different from a person to another. Some persons have bigger, some smaller. So sometimes also at work, like I have a colleague who always comes and, hi, how are you? It's like very good. Okay, so so it's like different from a person to another. So respect the personal zone of the other person. You know this by your connection, your relationship with them, if he's a colleague or a personal, someone from your family, etc. Okay, so it's clear for now. So make sure you are aware of the eye contact, the tone and the voice, the facial expressions, the hand gestures, the personal space tone, and the seating posture. Also, when you have your arms crossed like this, it's a sign of protection. Usually we protect ourselves from here because, if someone wants to hurt someone, so this is a fragile zone. So we do this to protect ourselves. So usually in sales, for example, what do? If they find someone like this, you will not buy from them. So what they do is they give them a paper or a brochure to read. So what happens? They take a brochure, they open up, they are more receptive to receive. So if you find that the person you are talking to is closed, offer them something so that they open up and you can communicate better. Okay? So these are some small tricks and things to remember. So seating posture also, check how you're sitting. In a way that is defensive, if he's relaxed or relaxed, or he's not looking at you. So all this is important. Now, sometimes we have interests that are different from our position. Position, it means what I decide to do, but my interest is different. For example, I was very angry about the last chaotic departmental meeting. I will not attend again. So what is my interest in this? What is my position in this situation? My position is I'm not talking again. I'm not coming again to this meeting, right? But what is my interest? It means what do I really want? What do I really want? I want the meeting to be organized. Yeah? So it's the same in everything. Like sometimes a friend tells you something, an insult. You stop talking to them. You stop talking to them. So your position is, I don't talk to him. But your interest is that your friend respects you, right? So this is very important, and it's a real difference between my position and my interest. So it's like the iceberg. You know the iceberg, you see only the top of it above the water, but the rest is hidden, it's under the water, it's not seen. And sometimes we take a position, but I wish we look down here. I wish we go deeper and look what is really the interest. So if someone is taking a position, and you take sometimes positions that are not what you really want, it's not your interest. Okay? Let's say you got a fight, your friend was supposed to join you in a trip, and then you had a fight and he doesn't join. Because his position is, I don't want to join the trip. But his interest was, I want a peaceful relationship with you, right? So let's do this exercise. So for each of these 3 sentences, write down what is the position and what is the interest. So write position, interest for each one.
Completamente vabbè, non ho mantenuto qualcosa del genere, perciò non possiamo considerarli, dargli un ok, questo è verissimo. Nella posizione e non gli guardalo più, perché non sarà stato cacciato, cioè non lo voglio più.
Okay.
Che qualcuno
I was very angry about the last chaotic departmental meeting. The position is, I will not attend again. What is my interest? What is my interest? To have better organized meetings. Okay? This is my interest. For the second one, if you continue to be negative about everything we do, then I suggest you stop coming to these meetings altogether. Okay? What is the position? What is the position? Don't attend the meeting. Skip the meeting. What is the interest?
Be positive. Be positive about
Be positive about the meetings. Very good. Be positive about the meetings. So you see that it's different. It's sometimes the opposite. So this is why we need trust to go into the interest, to really understand the interest of the other person. 3. These suppliers didn't fulfill their promise to attend the planning meetings. Therefore, we cannot trust them again. What is the position? The position, no more trust. I don't want to trust them again. But what was the interest? That the suppliers fulfill their promises, exactly. So you see that it's very different. Sometimes people take positions that are not even for them to their interest. So always dig deeper, think of the iceberg, think why this person is doing this. Is it for their interest? What is this type of interest? Now position is a decision. We attach ourselves to it and we don't dive into the need. So the need is the root of the problem, okay? It's the need that is important and not the position. Even us, we decide, I don't want to, this teacher was rude to me, I don't want to come to the class. But this is my position, but it's not my interest, okay? Now, if we talk about human needs, you know this pyramid of Maslow? So there's Abraham Maslow who created this pyramid. He talked about the basic needs. The first need is everything physiological, so food, water, sleep, breathing, good health. This is physiological. If this is fulfilled, we go to the other need, which is safety. Like to have security, to have feeling secure, having a house, like all this is security. Then love and belonging, belonging to a family, to a group, friendship, etc. Then esteem, like having confidence and respect by others. And the last one is self-actualization, which is to realize your higher self. Now, if one is not fulfilled, you cannot get to the other one. That's why if there is a war, let's say, if there's a war, your main concern is safety, so you cannot think of self-actualization or esteem. That's why in other countries where there is war, the main problems that you see on TV is physiological, so they want in Africa, let's say, something to eat. They don't care about esteem, love, and I don't know what. They care about having something to eat and a shelter. So they want the first two needs to be fulfilled. Okay? So this is just a bracket to understand. Now, if we want to talk about negotiation, so negotiation is the process where we talk with the other person to get to our purpose. The first stage is planning and preparation. So I have to prepare, what do I want, understand my position, my interest, and then deliberation, so discussing with the other person, and implementation. Implementation means we don't only talk about it, but also we do it, we implement it in the... Now the forms of confrontation. The first form and the most important one is face-to-face. Always, always try to have it face-to-face, because over the phone you already lose a lot of aspects. You lose like the 5 senses, you lose the form, because you can just hear them, but you cannot see them, you cannot feel how they are feeling, you cannot touch their hand, so it's a lot of aspects that are lost. That's why it's not recommended to talk over the phone. If you have a problem, usually some people take a message and they start to write. This is the worst thing you can do. Don't write, because in written communication, you can have more problems, more misunderstandings than in verbal communication. Okay? So face-to-face is the best. Phone, it's only to get to take a meeting or to see the person, or if the person is in another country, you can do it over the phone only. Written media is very bad, like email, fax, WhatsApp, don't do that. Video conference like Skype also uses a lot of the message, and the worst one is silence, not talking to the other person. So these are the ways of confrontation. What is the best one to do? Face-to-face, right? So the methods of conflict resolution, as we said, first one is the force. So I win, you lose. Adjudication, which is through the tribunal, lawyer, and judges. Win-lose also. Arbitration. So they both agree on someone who is not a judge and who will make a decision. So let's go to the boss. The boss, the manager, he will take a decision. So it could be win-win or win-lose or lose-win, but he decides. And mediation. Mediation is something, it's an assisted negotiation where the person don't take a decision, but he helps you facilitate the discussion. So maybe you as HR in the future or as a social worker, you will be mediator to facilitate the conflict. You will have two persons who have a fight, and you will be here to listen to them, and you have to communicate. Okay, so what do you think? What do you think? Facilitate the communication. Okay? Negotiation is win-win, it's no interference, it's me and you only. So always when there is a conflict, try to solve it first with the person. If there is no solution with this person, you cannot get to a common ground, then you go to someone to help you. But first thing to do is to talk to the other person. Now, the conflict is something normal, it happens, it's periodic, and it's an opportunity to create better grounds. Okay, let's watch a small video. Let's go, in fact, I'll just talk about this quickly. So, this is just a summary. So we have to avoid affective conflict and something that is destructive. We can keep it cognitive, which means objective. So we make the approach, we build understanding, we agree on solutions, and we build the next steps. Now, first is to have a conversation. So it's just a recap of what we saw before. I will share with you this. So understand that your view is different than the other person. I have data, so opinion, facts, not opinions. I name the issue and not the person, not the problem, because of the problem, not the person. I build understanding. I will give you the slides, okay? Don't worry. And you agree on a solution. So is this real? Is this doable? Is this feasible? And we plan the next steps. Now, we said we don't say but, we say and. Blame, this doesn't work. You will see a quick video on blame, okay?
How many of you are blamers? How many of you, when something goes wrong, the first thing you want to know is whose fault it is? Hi, my name is Brene. I'm a blamer. Let me just tell you this quick story. So this was a couple of years ago when I first realized the magnitude to which I blame. I'm in my house, I'm on white slacks and a pink sweater set, and I'm drinking a cup of coffee in my kitchen. It's a full cup of coffee. I drop it on the tile floor. It goes into a million pieces, splashes up all over me. And the first, a millisecond after it hit the floor, right out of my mouth is this: damn you, Steve.
Steve is not there.
He was my husband.
I used to
tell you how fast this works for me. So Steve plays water polo with a group of friends, and the night before he went to go play water polo. And I said, hey, make sure you come back at 10, because you never fall asleep until you're home. And he got back at 10:30. And so I went to bed a little bit later than I thought. Ergo, my second cup of coffee that I probably would not be having had he come home would be discussed. Therefore, and so the rest of the story is I'm cleaning up the kitchen. Steve calls, caller ID, I'm like, hey, coffee, but still don't do like dial tone. Because he knows. How many of you go to that place when something bad happens, the first thing you want to know is whose fault is it? I'd rather it be my fault than no one's fault. Because why? Because it gives us some semblance of control. But here, if you enjoy blaming, this is where you should stick your fingers in your ear and do the no thing, because I'm getting ready to ruin it for you. Because here's what we know from the research. Blame is simply the discharging of discomfort and pain. It has an inverse relationship with accountability. Accountability, by definition, is a vulnerable process. It means me calling you and saying, hey, my feelings are really hurt about this, and talking. It's not blaming. Blaming is simply a way that we discharge anger. People who blame a lot seldom have the tenacity and grit to actually hold people accountable, because we expend all of our energy raging for 15 seconds and figuring out whose fault something is. And blaming is very corrosive in relationships, and it's one of the reasons we miss our opportunities for empathy. Because when something happens and we're hearing a story, we're not really listening. We're in the place where I was, making the connections as quickly as we can about whose fault something was.
So you see what happens in blame. Usually you want to see whose fault is this, but it's not important, okay? Just one thing to summarize. We are just doing a summary so that we close now. 1 more minute, okay? So always make sure you have a third story. So there's this version, one version. I want to make the common ground. Think of the lady that we saw in the pictures. Okay, contribution mapping, it means how much percentage is everyone's fault. The silent treatment, don't do it, you know, it doesn't work, not to talk about the problem. And the most important thing to remember that in a conflict, it's a matter of attitude. It's your attitude to the conflict that will make it work or not, okay? I hope you enjoyed this session. So remember, change, be the change you want to see in the world, as said Randy, and conflict management starts with yourself. Any questions before we close? I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, you can make me. This is my name. I would like to have a picture with you all. Okay, so, you know, I have to be in
ci saranno le slide attenzione alla consegna, c'è una consegna nuova per la settimana prossima che è quella che avevamo anticipato sul diario, scrittura riflessiva rispetto agli apprendimenti di queste 3 settimane, apprendimenti rispetto alla propria identità professionale. Quindi ricordatevi di avere il diario entro martedì prossimo. Settimana prossima andiamo a fare il servizio, abbiamo